that light in you? Or how dim is it? Because your presence, beloved, when that light, like Jesus said, you are the light of the world. When that light is bright enough, darkness comes around you, you go around it, it will flee. So somebody who's a drug addict, or a prostitute, or a liar, or even a so-called Christian but living in private sin, they come around you, one of two things will happen. The darkness in them will flee, then will get delivered on the spot. Without you saying, come out, come out, come out, my friend. Your presence will cause it. One of two things will happen. The demon, the darkness in their soul will flee. Because it cannot stand the light in you, and the light in you repels the darkness in the soul. That's the first thing will happen. The second thing will happen, one of two things I said. The second that will happen, they will avoid you at all costs. Because some of them want to keep their demons, their friends. I call it their friends, their roommates. That's all that's supposed to happen. Nobody demonically possessed. When I say demonically possessed, they are a prostitute, they are a gangbanger, they hooked on drugs, they hook on alcohol, they hook on pornography, fornication, they hook on gossiping, they're full of anger, bitterness. You put anything, put it there. They should not have those things in them. And they are around you and they are comfortable. You two are comfortable. But you are the light of the world. Why is darkness comfortable around light? Hey, somebody explain to me. What you said, Tamo?
I said that's not right. They should be comfortable around us.
Thank you. So the problem is not with them, the problem is with us.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm saying this to challenge you and to prepare you going to this fast. So now you know why you're going to this fast. To provoke and stir up some righteous anger. And that righteous anger is directed to yourself. That you're going to rebel against your lazy, complacent, lackadaisical, just nonchalant Christian, attitude. Rebel against it. It's good to rebel in that area. Like, no, I don't want to do this no more. While there's homelessness in my city and I'm the light of the world, what's my problem? Talk to yourself like that. Challenge yourself like that. Rebuke yourself like that. Judge yourself like that. Deal with yourself like that. Otherwise, you die and go to heaven tomorrow. God will deal with you and He will show you. I put you in your city for this, but this, you did this. And He'll show you the whole video. You'll just weep. The Bible says He'll wipe all your tears and say, come in. See? You are the light of the world. Why is darkness thriving in your city? Forget about your city. That's too much. Why is darkness thriving in your household? City is too big. Let's start with the household first. Why is darkness thriving and progressing in your household, under your roof, on your watch, on your shift? Let's start with your house before we go to the neighborhood. Don't go to the city. Why is darkness thriving in your house? Why is darkness thriving in your bloodline? But you are the light of the world. How bright is that light, or how dim is it? And some creatures, the witches, they swallow my star. Why are witches swallowing the stars of somebody who's the light? No, because I gotta go to the Africans. I'm an African now, so somebody's mindset, I used to follow all those foolishness. Oh, they swallow my star. You are the light of the world, and somebody else that serves darkness can swallow your star. Then that person not the problem. You are the problem, my friend. Because the person who allegedly, supposedly swallowed your star, they work for darkness, correct? And you are the light. And then someone who works for darkness has that kind of power to swallow your light. Then they might be the real lightning. Because something's wrong somewhere. A lesser power can overpower and swallow the there's something wrong with your higher power you claim to carry.
That means we don't have any.
How can somebody swallow your star? Or bury your star? Or somebody put a padlock on your womb? If you're a real Christian and you are the light of the world, shouldn't that light expel, confront, challenge, push back darkness? But darkness is swallowing your womb or swallowing your star, or padlock your destiny, or bury your this. You see? How much of light have we become? How much of Christ is formed in you? That's what it means. How much of light? Does not the scripture say Jesus is the light of the world? But then he turned back and said, you are the light of the world. Isn't it? So how much of Christ is formed in you means how much of light is in you. How much of light is in you? Those are scripture now. Don't say if Christ is light. And then the scripture asking how much of Christ is from you. You remove Christ and put light. How much of light is in you? How much of light is in you to affect the darkness in your household, in your neighborhood, in your city, in your state, in your nation, and in continents of the world? How much of light have you become that you can make darkness uncomfortable in your house, in your bloodline, in your neighborhood, in your city, in your state, in your nation, in the continents of the world? How much of light have you become to drive out darkness? Keep that in mind when you're doing this 40-day fast. Those are things we want to deal with. How much of Christ is in me? How much of light is in me? Because I cannot claim to be the light of the world as Christ said we are, and yet darkness is in my household. There's no peace in your house. Everybody fighting. Well, you are the light of the world. They're shouting. Well, when light enters, that shouting of the go now. If you are the light of the world and they're shouting, fighting in your house, let them fight. But when you show up, that darkness that making them fight and shout is supposed to flee. But you enter, they're still shouting. You see your problem? Matter of fact, they turn and shouting from each other, they can't shout at you. Well, you are the light of the world. How come your presence is not confronting the darkness that's making them to shout? There's no peace in your house. But you are the light of the world. I want you to keep those things in mind. Those are the focus and purpose and theme of our fasts. That's the focus and purpose of our fast. How much of Christ is forming us? How much of light is forming us? How much of Christ is in us? How much of light, how much of Christ have we become? That our presence repels darkness in the souls of anyone that comes around us. Even on the phone, when you talk and have a conversation, the voice, when they hear you speak, it will cause the darkness in them to tremble.
Woo! Come on, somebody.
That's how much of Christ is formed in a person like that. Now, it's not just your presence, your voice on the phone will make people tremble. The mention of your name, they will tremble. Because the devil said, I know Jesus, I know Dagnet, I know Paul, but I don't know you. You see? So it's not even only the mention of the name of Christ, even your name. Because what? When Christ is fully formed in you, the same effect that the devil will have when you mention Christ's name, he will have that same effect when you mention your name. Because what? You have become Christ in bodily.
I know that's right.
Christ is fully formed in you.
That's right.
So when you mention your name, he will say, don't mention that name. You will say that name, Dagnet, Jesus, Peter, I know that name. Don't mention it. That's what he said. I know those names.
Know somebody.
But many of you, the devil don't know your name and you think it's the devil's fault. You know it's not his fault, it's your fault.
Yes, ma'am.
Your lifestyle, your presence in his city, in that city, doesn't even put a dent in the kingdom of darkness. But all day you sit on the bench, you warm in the pews, you join, you become a member of your social club you call church, you pay your monthly dues, you got the tithes and offering, and you feel good. And you warm the bench for 10, 20, 30 years, you give birth to meet your husband there, meet your spouse in the church, you'll get married, you have children, they have children, you feel, oh yeah, my grandmother will be in the church since you feel proud. Some people like to celebrate, yes. We'll be in the church since my grandmother, my grandmother, my mother, me, now I have my children, my grandchildren, we're all born in this church or in this denomination like it's something, like it's a bragging rights. When the city your church in for 3 generations, the city have not been transformed, but you still to be the light of the world. And the only bragging rights you have is that you be in that church for 3 generations, but yet you drive right out of the church, you see homeless people begging for money, but you're the light of the world. You see your problem? You see homeless people at the light begging for money, and you driving going to the same church down the street. But you are the light of the world, and your only bragging right is, I've been here for 3 generations. Whoop-de-doo. You want a trophy for that now? And you wonder why the devil doesn't even know your name. Homelessness, gang banging, prostitution, drug addiction, abortion clinic, stripper house or strip club, whatever they call it, nightclub. All those things are going to shut down when a church comes there. I don't mean you physically shut them down. They're supposed to shut down. Because your presence that represents light supposed to cause the darkness to shut down and go to another city. They either shut down and join you, or they'll shut down and avoid you. One of two things, my friend. But the church is here, the nightclub across. I've seen the church here, nightclub across. I pass around and look at CC. Sometimes I just drive around to see. There's church here, 2-3 blocks down. There's a nightclub. There's a prostitute house. There's a gang banging. I see. And the church is here. You see our problem? And we are the light of the world. Keep that in mind when we go on this fast. That is the purpose, to challenge you.